So we've got this, and hopefully by now you would have rewritten this as 2 cos squared x minus 1. Yeah? And I've got minus 7 cos x minus the 3 is equal to 0. And if I simplify, I've got 2 cos squared x minus 7 cos x. And minus 1 minus 3 is? Minus 4. And do I want to divide by the coefficient to get rid of it?
No.
No, because I'm going to have a problem here. So I might as well stick with it. So I've got a quadratic, 2x squared minus 7x minus 4. So I can, and my first term would be 2 cos x, and cos x, yes. And which factors of 4 will I use to, was it 4 and 1 or 2 and 2?
1 and 4.
1 and 4? Because 1 and 4 is going to give me an 8.
Yes.
And the 1, so there's a relationship there. It's going to be 4, 1, it's going to be, huh? No.
So why don't we use like 8 and 1?
8 and 1.
No.
Negative 8 on the other side.
Yeah, that's where we go. That's going to be negative 8 cos x, right? So if I put my negative there, my plus 1 there, that times that gives me a negative 4, but negative 8 cos x plus 1 cos x gives me the minus 7 cos x. That's where we want to go, right? Okay. So now this is obviously going to split up, and I'm going to have either 2 cos x, 2 cos x plus 1 is equal to 0, or cos x minus 4 is equal to 0. So here I've got 2 cos x equal to minus 1. What am I doing? Minus 1. And cos x is then equal to negative a half.
Yes, sir.
Or cos x
It's
is equal to 4. And anything funny here?
Then,
Yeah. What were you doing here? Were you figuring this out as well, or
no.
were you busy here?
Yeah.
But what's happening here?
That's 2 big, so
Yeah,
it's bigger than 1.
it's bigger than 1. The range of cos x is negative 1 to positive 1. So this is outside of that. So the graph is not defined then. It is no solution. So R is 120. Let's start there. But we know that in order to get 120, I need to subtract 60, right? And that means my angle I'm working with to get to this is still that 60. I say 180 minus 60, and the other quadrant where cos is negative would be the third. So the first thing you ask yourself is, where is cos negative? That's where you start. Cos is negative in second and third. So to get to second, I use 180 minus, right? 180 minus what? 180 minus 60 in this case to get that, and 180 plus 60 to get the other one. So your angles that satisfies this equation is 120 and 240. Okay, let's do it quickly. This means that x is going to be equal to 180 degrees minus 60 degrees. So remember, it's going to be a RA plus 360K. If I put this in brackets, this equals my RA. If I look at the graph, maybe the graph will explain better. Let's do that. And do that. I've got here 90, 180, 70, and 60. I've got minus 90, minus 180, minus 270, and minus 360. Where's 120? It would be here, right? Where's 240? Yeah, this graph is a bit skewed, but yeah, let's make it here. That's now biggie by a fair. Let's just fix that so that it looks more accurate. Yeah, whatever. So that's 240 and 120. Okay, can we accept that? And can we accept that that I don't draw very accurately and make peace with it? Okay? So what I was trying to explain earlier about 180 minus 180 plus, my 120 degrees will give me, what value will hit my 120? That's the minus of half that we're talking about, right? So that's where the minus of half comes from. That is why your second function on your calculator, because the answer, the angle that corresponds to negative a half lies in the area of the graph that is negative. So it will kick out, so second function cos of negative a half will kick out 120, it will not kick out the 60 because 60 gives me the positive a half. Are we together? But what I'm saying is, I can still, because I know, because of the symmetry that happens between 180 and my 120 and 240, I know that the distance from 180, which is this here, I'll be 180 minus my theta, which is 60, and 180 plus my theta, which is also 60. It will be the same angle, right? That is why I say, stick with the positive angle. Still see that when you get a sum like this, where there's a negative number, it doesn't matter what that number is. You don't care what the number is, you care what the sign is. The sign. So where is my cos negative? It's negative second and third. So that's where your focus is. You don't care about this. Yeah? So what happens in second? What do I use? I use 180 minus, and I use 180 plus. So when you get an answer like this, you would say, okay, that is in my second quadrant. So 180 minus what gives me that? 180 minus 60. So 180 minus 60 gives me 120 plus the 360k. Or 180 plus x is equal to 180 plus 60 plus my 360k. And pay. Are we together on this one, people? Jamie?
So we are using 180 minus plus because it's negative.
Yeah, in those two, yeah. And I was hoping that the graph and my Cartesian plane is speaking to each other and is helping you to understand better. Because they must correspond, yes. Oh, do you guys want me to finish this? Huh? Oh, okay. I'll just quickly, that will be 120 plus 360k. And 240 plus 360. Okay, remember they're asking for general solutions, meaning this will be the end of your calculation, because if I take 120 in the second quadrant and I add 360, I will end up there again. And I add 360, I'll end up there again. So you're going to go around the whole time, your graph will always be negative. The same thing with the third quadrant. So that's what your general solution means.